Well, I'm going to come off subject of yesterday a little bit. When you were a kid growing up, did you have to have a certain shoe, a brand, a player that you always wore? Like I was always the Magic Johnson Cons. What were you?
I was whatever is free. I mean, I'm one of 6 kids. My father was a high school coach at Pound Memorial, so we didn't have the luxury of getting what we wanted. We got what was given to us. And whether that was orange ponies from Syracuse, my father went there, or a lot of Chuck Taylors and Pro-Keds, and a lot of hand-me-downs.
Pro-Keds.
But
Yeah, I look good in them.
as his career, I guess, as he went up the ranks, around, bigger teams with more gear, did the gear get a little better the older?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when he was at Syracuse, I mean, how many other kids were wearing orange ponies that said Syracuse on the back? And then when Pearl Washington went there, one of the greatest college players, one of the greatest high school players I ever saw, boys and girls, the whole team was wearing orange ponies, but Pearl had his own Pro-Keds contract. So he had orange Pro-Keds, so those were collector's items. But yeah, as the jobs got better, the sneakers got better, no doubt.
Do you think sometimes the sneaker industry's out of control?
Well, we have a couple of guys, like Dan Sheminsky is a sneakerhead, I guess
Yes, he
they
is.
call him. And it is such a big business. And what people are paying, I know like in the NBA, I think PJ Tucker is legendary with his sneaker collection. And I know over my years, I've got some pretty cool shoes that I've been able to collect. But the thought of paying for sneakers to me is just something that I can't comprehend. I'm still the free as me. Whatever's available, I'm going to wear and wear it with pride.
Well, you do have a wife and 2 daughters, so are there other things that you have to pony up for you never thought you would?
Well, I'm lucky because, through my dealings with Nike, I'm able to get, we're a Nike family right now. And I could easily be an Adidas family. I could easily be a whatever family, but Nike's taking great care of us. And this weekend in Kansas City, my daughter was Nike'd out. So really, really fortunate in that regard.
How was having everybody back in the gym today?
Tell you, Katie, it was obviously having Nicola here today, even Vlatko. I mean, Vlatko likely will not play this year, but he got in practice today. And I was so happy for him. But having the whole group back was a lot of fun. 2 days of great energy. And hopefully that, just transfers tomorrow night. Led off the day with showing the standings, where we're at, who's in front of us, who's right behind us. Talked about what we have in front of us with the 27 games, 16 home, 11 away, and the importance of not easing into this 27, trying to hit the ground running. And all the guys were locked in. So very, very pleased with the energy, the effort, and the focus yesterday and today.
What's the extent of what Vlatko can do physically right now, and how eager is he to be involved, even if he probably won't end up playing?
Well, I think mentally for him to be on the court in practice has to be really beneficial for him. Not being able to play the game that you love for a lengthy period of time is hard. Vlatko is one of the more positive people I've ever been around. He's handled it really well. He's not running and jumping all over the place, but he was able to do some of the defensive drills today, some of the shooting drills, and anything he's able to do is a bonus right now. So great to have him out here. He was able to go home over All-Star break, which I think was also very therapeutic to be around his family and loved ones. So hopefully Vlatko continues to progress the way he has been.
Nicole was at the Avalanche game last night. I know you're not on social media, so maybe you haven't seen any of the clips or the pictures, but does it feel like to you that he's kind of the face of Denver sports right now? Because the welcome that he got was out of this world.
Well, I'm glad that I didn't know he was there. Did the Avs win?
Yeah.
All right.
He skated on the first line, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
That's a very scary thought. Imagine him on skates. Wow. That'd be really imposing. But yeah, I would say that, coming off of a championship, the first one, because for the Avs, they've won, 3?
Yes.
And not that you ever get bored with success, but us winning our first one, Nicola being a 2-time MVP and a finals MVP, and I think people relate to just how humble he is. He is a man of the people. So people relate to that. He's never separated himself. He's never changed. So the money and fame has not gone to his head. And it's him, his family, and just being the same old person every day. And how can you not love that? On and off the court, Nicola is just, there's a lot to love there.
How do you balance the need for that break with you being the coach, frustrated at the 3 losses and maybe wanting to get that taste out of your mouth sooner?
Well, I mean, just being patient, understanding, looking at, okay, you lose 3 in a row. Why did you lose 3 in a row? And I think not having our starting backcourt was a big part of that, to be quite honest. Even though we had, we were up 16 in that Sacramento game, up 4 late in that game and had chances to win. But then for me, it's digging into, okay, why did we lose 3 in a row aside from no Jamal and KCP? Last 3 games going into the break, we were dead last in points off our turnovers. 23 a night in those 3 games. So we're beating ourselves. And we talked about that as well this morning before we practiced. So, yeah, you want to get back at it, but I think the break was so needed for a team that played over 100 games last year into the middle of June, and mentally, physically, emotionally getting away from it and coming back and understand what we have right in front of us. And I have complete confidence in that group that we can go anywhere and beat anybody in the entire NBA. We've proven we can do that. We just have to be a lot more consistent in these final 27.
You guys had the number 1 seed pretty much locked up like a month before the regular season ended last year. The race is much tighter this year. How big of a focus do you think it will be to get the 1 seed again?
For me, it's not like top 1 or 2 priority, to be very honest. And we talked about that with our team today. The good thing is Minnesota's number 1. We play them 3 more times. We're 3 games out, so we have avenues to become the number 1 team. It's definitely attainable, but I don't want to win that battle and lose the bigger war. When our starting unit plays, I think our record is like 24-6, a 75% winning percentage. So that to me is most important, is going into the playoffs, having our starting 5 healthy and ready for the load that's going to be placed upon them. As you get to the playoffs, the rotation shrinks and you play guys heavier minutes. So I think having home court in the first round is very, very important. I think having a healthy team going into the postseason is very important. And if we happen to be the 1 seed, that's just a cherry on top. But we're not going to put all our cards in just to attain that and risk being healthy for a very deep playoff run.
One more question.
What's then the message to the bench guys, knowing that maybe there's going to be some of that reliance on them in this home stretch to help make sure that the starters are not getting overworked going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, go out there and play your job to the best of your ability. Be consistent, and remember that it always starts first and foremost on the defensive end. I think some guys are, they're thinking more about their offense. The offense is going to come. That's the easy part of this game. We have to be a team that can get stops, and if you break down our quarter-by-quarter defensive rating, it's really ironic. Or not ironic, but just confusing. Quarter 1, we're 3rd in defensive rating. Quarter 5, we're like 6th. Quarter 4, we're, I think, like 8th. And then second quarter, we're 29th. So that speaks to our bench, our starting group, just being a lot more consistent over the course of 48 minutes. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Mike.